So this video is going to be on the effects of occulted knowledge, and this is coming from somebody where, like, if this was a video that would be like on the dangers of homosexuality, then my role would be like somebody with, you know, a really bad prolapsed rectum and cocaine addiction. And I'd be like, this is the dangers of having the feelings of love combined with rectal intercourse. And you'd be like, what are the dangers of that? And then I would be like, these are the dangers that I've learned from doing it. And now I have things inside of me prolapsed onto the outside of me, like I can't even hold it in. Right? And so the dangers of occulted knowledge is similar to that. And as a guide here, telling you of the dangers, I am similar in stature and knowledge and understanding as the person in my previous example. So when you occulted knowledge is when you as an animal, as a human, as a whatever, start using your brain and your thoughts to understand things that are not immediately obvious. Like the world presents things to you and you can learn about those, and there's this dynamic where you learn about what you encounter. So somebody with no occult knowledge only knows about what they've encountered. So you go to school and you encounter tests, you encounter exams, you encounter projects, you encounter things at home, you encounter family dynamics, you encounter siblings, and you learn stuff about those things either on your own or with the help of other people. And then the occulted knowledge comes when you basically, with the onset of certain types of reading, where you start to learn facts and information that are not readily obvious. And so this is everything from molecular biology to like Freemasonry, religion. If you do religion in the wrong way, it's stuff you've never seen. This is particle physics, right? Imaginary physics, quantum physics. You're learning about things that are occulted. Inferences, stuff that you've never seen, stuff that other people haven't seen. So you can get into these situations where you learn about this stuff from somebody who has seen it, and that seems to keep things on the rails. But if you start learning about any of this, so this could be martial arts, the nature of consciousness, right? Like if you start learning about things that you haven't seen, then that's occulted knowledge. Or like, so it doesn't even have to be special. A lot of times it's like special, like I've learned about the nature of consciousness. No, it's even like you're you're a baker, and you're a baker. That's what you encounter in this world, and you have this entire cacophony of like facts and understandings about firefighting, or about Lord of the Rings trivia, or about the associated deities with the sixth chakra, or all about plumbing. Like, what if you knew everything about plumbing but you're not a plumber? That would be occulted knowledge. That's the same as occulted knowledge, and it's just facts and information, and it gives you an inappropriate identity. So this is why, like, occulted knowledge, like spiritual stuff, is usually not fed to people unless you are a monk, unless that is your job, unless you've made the choice in this life to become the thing within which those thoughts are appropriate. Right, like if you're going to be spiritual, it's like you have to become the thing that is appropriate for spiritual thoughts. Otherwise, you're having spiritual thoughts all the time while you do your plumbing or put the roof on, and it's inappropriate, and it kind of breaks the person. And it's the same things if you've memorized Lord of the Rings stuff. It's just inappropriate. It breaks the person, and when you're broken, you get this. It's the physiology is what we call a nerd. It's somebody who has all this like mental energy in a place that's not here. So the status is less, the physiology is less, the coordination is less. And what's that from? That's from this accumulation of stuff that's not there. Or you're doing the task, and like you would be bringing to bear information that has nothing to do with anything. Like you're roofing, and you bring all what do you get? All this knitting knowledge, right? So you see this breaks you, and so it makes it so that you're like not suited for the environment. So a lot of the times people can be that's what happened to people on psychedelic drugs in the 60s. You do the thing, and you're not suited to the environment. And there's a balance. It's basically, there's this depth of the mind that you can go into, and if you go into it very deep, there's genuinely like, what is there for a person necessarily? It would have to be the right person, right? There's no useful information there unless you're the right person to have it. Otherwise, it just takes you out of your life. And that's true for all information. Like all information, everyone talks about it as if it's like super secrets, but it's not. It's just any information that's like away from the immediate presentation of the life. And it's just like using the mind in the wrong way, and it's the same as if you use your shoulder in the wrong way, you get shoulder problems. If you use your mind like this, like if you acquire occulted knowledge, then it just causes mental problems. People call schizophrenia, it's ideological possession. This is the same as, this is what, when people do this and they depend on this, and they live their life by this non-knowledge, they bring in these fantasy realities into the world and try and fight the world and turn it into the fantasy reality. So it's like feminism, fascism, like conservatism. All of this stuff is from people gaining occulted knowledge. And since it's occulted knowledge, people that don't have it are much sort of incredulous of it because it's imaginary. Like it has nothing to do with your life. It can't demonstrate it. You can't, like, it doesn't, like, what? Why? So if you learn big esoteric spiritual secrets or stuff like that, it can actually, like, that's the only reason it decontextualizes you from your life. Like, sure, it might be true. It might be true, but what does it have to do with you? And to ever come to like peace again, you have to like transform yourself such that knowledge becomes appropriate. Like if you're a person and you acquire knowledge of the angels, like the only way that knowledge isn't going to be driving you insane is to become that which is appropriate to it. So this stuff acts like a seed in people. Like if you take a kid and you give them knowledge of pipes, or they're gonna potentially become a plumber. Like if you take a person and give them particular types of knowledge, the identity will tend to create and organize themselves around that knowledge. And this knowledge can be, it's even better if it's implicit rather than explicit. And so that's what you're seeing in all the different secret societies, from all the way from like college, high school, to like Freemason groups, to different types of like passion and deviancies, PEDOs. Really, it's everything, right? So this pattern is everything. It's like you tend to look at it in terms of like the weird knowledge that really pulls people out of whatever, and it's constantly doing that. The internet is constantly giving everybody knowledge that 100% is inappropriate for that identity, and it pulls you out of their life into this isolated, whatever pocket of. And this is why genius is isolating, right? If people if you go into realms or territories that it's beyond other people's experiences, you're going to be alone. Or at very least in a different community. Was that one guy that played Count Dooku? He had like some book on sorcery or something like that. He made a joke about you losing your soul. It's like you are what you are, and if you find information or find knowledge that is impossible for that identity to integrate or ingest, like, you have killed yourself. If you have an experience where you learn something that is completely incompatible with your identity, you're dead. So the same way, if you jug a gallon, like if you jug a cup of mercury, you might be okay for a little bit, but you're dead. And it's the same thing with different types of knowledge, different types of experience. This is the story of the of Garden of Eden and the apple, the tree of good and evil, knowledge. It's occulted knowledge, and so they Adam and Eve bit and took in occulted knowledge, and it was beyond what their identity could tolerate. And that death process is the same death process that gets in when you're doing something that causes the nerdery, right? Doing something where you have information in your head that causes a reduced fitness for here. But sometimes different types of nerdery can develop things, and then you can make technology or see patterns that can cause an increased fitness, right? So you have, it's almost like you can build these knowledge structures that are outside of where you're living and inhabiting, that protect it, right? Like the dome of electricity and plumbing and heating and all this stuff. This is from the connection of occult knowledge. And living inside of that, and people gaining occult knowledge and letting it destroy their identity, letting it turn them into new people with new functions, with new ideas, whatever, that innovate, right? Like if you had somebody designing an electrical transformer on the power lines, that is completely inappropriate knowledge for somebody even 500 years ago. You would be considered insane if you had that knowledge. It would drive you insane. But people let that knowledge like incubate in the human mind, and then now we have electrical engineers. So there's all types of knowledge like that, and the incarnation of different types of knowledge into this world is from people eating it, and then they go through like a death process and become a different specialized type of person. And that's the different majors in school. That's school itself. Like you would naturally become something else. So you take the person, you put different types of knowledge in their body at a young age, and then that knowledge like fruits takes over the kid, and you turn into something else. I don't know if there's any way to like avoid this. Or if it's bad, like it's the pattern. Like there's some usefulness, or there's some fitness to like being able to go in that realm. But that's what it is.